This game was just played yesterday, so it's still fresh in my mind. Um, up against K113 RHAC, and we're going back to Glarb, and we shelved um, Zer. And so what's my opponent playing? Zer. In my opponent's defense, he says that he's a new player, and usually that kind of gets me to, I don't know why, when I see somebody saying that they're a new player on MTGO, typically those games are pretty rough. A lot of people like to say that they're a new player, and he may certainly be. Some of the tap lands indicate that maybe he plays a lot of paper magic, but usually I don't want to say that people are full of it, but people are full of it. So he said that he was a new player, and I was sort of curious. I don't think I've ever really seen him on, so I think this is a person who plays a lot of Magic and um, just plays paper Magic. And starting out, I do not have a keepable hand. I do like the Force of Will, but in the spirit of, I don't know what it is, but just I always have to take a mulligan. So we go down to this hand, which is a lot more reasonable. I can color fix, but I am going against white, which can really disrupt a lot of this stuff. So we can counter it. It's a risky hand because it's only Ancient Tomb and Cavernous Souls, and if I get a Mox Diamond out, chances are I could be screwed. So I am going first. I think in this case, Mana Vault would go back, yeah. Decided to take a chance on the Mox Diamond, probably ditching the Ancient Tomb. I just feel like colored mana is going to help more than anything. Happy to have the Cavernous Souls, so if he has a Force of Will or something, at least I can get past that. So any wizard I have is going to hit the field. And a turn 1 Glarb. That's kind of neat. But I am down to 2, but at least I get to sift through my deck a little bit. But one Swords to Plowshares away from having a bad time. Just going to play a basic Swamp and say go. Got no issues with that. Arcane Signet, happy to see that. And going to Surveil. And I see the Triome. We're still in the kind of setting up phase, and with him playing a basic Swamp, I'd rather have that over the Expedition map. Got a Bitter Triumph. Crop Rotation. That's the thing, I got Crop Rotation. So Expedition map isn't, you know, the best thing I can have. I see the Wishclaw Talisman, and kind of torn between the Crop Rotation and the Wishclaw Talisman. Can make an argument for the Wishclaw, but him having access to white, I don't feel right about that, so I think I get a Strip Mine here and get rid of the white. And this is an indication that he doesn't have like a disenchant type effect in his hand, because he lets it go. So he's got the shock lands. And then he has something like River of Tears, which is okay. I don't really play it because it's not really fetchable. But with an Expedition map, yeah, it's fetchable, but just not my cup of tea. So I'm going to get a counter spell. Sylvan. Yeah, I would think Sylvan over the One Ring, just mana restrictions cause me to make that decision. He's got a Baleful Strix, so he keeps a lot of cards in his hands. It's turn 4 and he still has 7. Creeping Tarpet. Surveil to Tangle Wire. I like that. So I get the Sylvan Library down. He's off white, so barring a bounce capability, I think I'm okay. Just trying to avoid Zur at all costs at this point. So he does play these tapped lands that become creatures. So he's got that in the Creeping Tarpet. Sword of the Animus, and that's going to solve the issues of white. I'm going to get that Tangle Wire. I'll keep both these. There's Force of Will on top. Then we got a Crucible of Worlds in the form of Glacierwood Siege. Sultai, is it? Yeah. So kind of a good Simic card. I like that card. So I realized that if he doesn't have white, I might as well just get rid of that Baleful Strix. I'd rather him spend a turn casting something else to try and use it again, but I want to keep him off the white. So he hits his lands efficiently, and then he does realize the color fixing stuff, so he's certainly not a bad player. I think he's just new to MTGO, if that's even the case. Comes the Irrigated Farmland. It comes into play tapped, so that's kind of what I was talking about. These tap lands, and at least it's fetchable or cyclable. Then he has this, which is going to get rid of Glarb, which honestly, I mean, I care about, but not really. Can't recast it, but the all 3 modes of this thing are actually good. Elspeth's Nightmare is a pretty decent card. No lands on top, but thank you, Sylvan Library. And this is a turn where, you know, I think deploying Tangle Wire makes a lot of sense. I do have a Force of Will backup as well, so I could have waited on Tangle Wire, but getting that down I feel is important, and then I got a mana or a land to back that up to make it less painful on me. Are they gonna... Yeah, they want to keep the white untapped. They're gonna get rid of my One Ring, which I was kind of hoping that they would take. Anything else in my hand is just too valuable to me. I'm not really too worried about the One Ring. I'm not going to take... because this can become a brainstorm, in a way. I'm not going to sit here and take damage when I'm already down to 20. Dina's Guidance. I'm thinking about shelving that card, even though it is at instant speed, but Sylvan Tutor's just way more stronger. Or, Sylvan Tutor's stronger. I'm going to keep that and exile the Elvish Spirit Guide. Probably go Glacierwood here, I would think. Yeah. Choosing the Sultai, Strip Mine, and realizing that he's going to exile my graveyard. That's all I wanted to do, was get this out of the graveyard. I did not want to strip him there and then lose my Strip Mine forever. So I think with him hitting his land drops, he's just going to chain cast Zur as soon as this thing wears off. So sensing the trouble, I keep that Strip Mine. got a lot of mana. Down comes Ur. And the troubles can begin. Luckily I got a Force of Will. It would have been nice to have Wash Away mana. But getting rid of that white mana and counters Ur. Got a Demonic Tutor, and I think I only have to tap one mana source, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, question is, I think Demonic Tutor is important here. And getting rid of those creature type effects at this point could be a good play. But Demonic Tutoring, I was thinking, like, should I just go for combo? And he's just got too much mana for that, I feel. So the only logical choice, in my opinion, is to get something like Exploration. Double strip. So both creature lands are gotten rid of, and then he's off white again. And he's still kind of... It's like Tangle Wire got good again, because, you know, he would only had to tap 2. Except now, he's got that much less, so Tangle Wire becomes very valuable. There's white mana again. I only gotta tap the Tangle Wire. This is where Sylvan Library just kind of becomes a brainstorm, in my opinion. No point in taking damage. Get rid of the white. I'm sure at some point... No, oh yeah. Keeping him off of blue at this point. He's shown me no disenchant type of effects. So my thought process was, let's get him off of blue next. Got a Nature's Claim, trying to make the Tangle Wire as painful as possible, while trying to get as much mana in play as possible. So yeah, he's going to tap the white. Another white. But next is getting rid of blue and getting rid of white. Shieldred's Edict. Keep on plugging away at his mana, shutting down Zur. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Dina's Guidance is still on top. I probably should have just taken that, but what can I say? There we go, finally put it in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that card. Sylvan, don't, basically like Brainstorm. Get rid of that, but he's shown me that, you know, it's worth it to keep the Strip Mine in my hands, so I'm gonna get that out of the graveyard. 3 visits, and then I just keep on putting lands on top. But Sylvan Tutor comes. There's the Thassa. And finally out of... No, I thought he was out of mana. But jeez, he's hitting his land drops. Draw 2 more. And I finally keep some. I could Diabolic Intent here, and then I realize, I wonder why he's still playing this game. He's got 7 cards in hand. I'm wondering about like something like Force of Will. And that would certainly swing the game in his favor. I mean, I wouldn't go his way. But I get the Force of Will just in case. No reason to fetch right now. Got a Mystical Tutor on top. Kind of lagging a little bit. let it catch up. So in this point, I would keep Mystical Tutor for the Force of Will. I could Diabolic Intent here. But I just say go at this point. Plays another tap land. I get rid of it. And at this point, he just realized that he's locked. I mean, it's a hard lock. He just packs it in before I can do any more damage. I thought this game was pretty cool. I was just playing a bunch of Zur games, and then finally went against somebody playing Zur and was able to shut him down.